Seductive Pain. Beach house, night. Chris and Emma enter the house and come to the living room while kissing. Jennifer Lawrence sits at the coffee table. She is watching. Blue is the warmest color. Emma, hi Jenny. Jennifer, what's up? Emma, nothing much. To Chris, let me take a leak. She removes her underwear, places it in his pocket, kisses him French and goes to the restroom. Jennifer, hi, I am Jennifer. Chris, I know who you are. Jennifer, it's weird. I don't have to introduce myself to anyone anymore. I'm beginning to get used to it. I guess that's a little price I have to pay for being an actress. Chris sits on a sofa. There is a silent moment. They watch the movie silently. She then. Jennifer, what's your name? Emma returns to the living room. Emma, his name is Chris. He is a writer. Emma walks to the private bar, grabs a scotch, black label, pours into 3 separate glasses and grabs the first 2 glasses and gives Chris and Jennifer the drink. She returns back to the private bar, grabs a drink for herself, comes to Chris and sits on his lap. Emma, what are you watching? Jennifer, blue is the warmest color. Emma, what's it about? Jennifer, I don't know. It's in French. Emma, it has subtitle. Jennifer, I hate looking at subtitle. It's distracting. You miss the entire movie. Emma, to Chris, have you seen it? Chris, I saw it last year. Emma, what's it about? Jennifer, don't tell her. I am watching it. To Emma, I don't want you to ruin it. Emma, let's watch it from the beginning. Jennifer, no. It started almost an hour ago. Emma, such yourself. We will just have sex on the sofa while you are watching us. It's 3D. Emma gives Chris a juicy kiss, removes her dress and stands in her underwear, revealing her beautiful breasts. Jennifer, what's 3D? Emma, just pretend you are watching X-rated film in 3D as if we were some kind of hologram that come out of the screen and have sex on the sofa, except you can't change the channel. It's some kind of virtual reality. Jennifer, I don't get the joke. Emma, live pornography, sweetheart. Jennifer, am I allowed to join you? Emma, is that a trick question? Emma gets closer to Jennifer and kisses her lips seductively. They kiss more intimately as Chris watches them in wonder. Emma slips her lips alluringly, while biting Jennifer's lower lips softly, gets down with one knee, opens Jennifer's legs, caresses her thigh, kisses her vagina through Jennifer's underwear and slowly removes her underwear. Emma comes to Chris, puts Jennifer's underwear on his head and kisses him. Chris removes the underwear from his head, puts it aside, caresses Emma's neck and kisses her breasts. Chris then gets up from the couch. He removes his clothes and sits on the bigger sofa next to Jennifer and places Emma on his lap. Chris and Emma kiss more intimately. Emma, I told her about how you killed me and brought me back. She said she wanted to try it. Chris, it's dangerous. Jennifer removes all her clothes, gets closer and kisses his lips. Jennifer, seductively down by his lips, I want you to do it. They kiss French. Jennifer then kisses Emma. They are making out in threesome. Int. Bedroom, night. Emma lies on her back spreading her legs. Jennifer is giving her oral pleasure. Chris is behind Jennifer entering her doggy style. He then pulls her hair and kisses her lips. They make out in steamy threesome changing positions. It's straight pornography. Emma then gets up and brings a chain and a video camera from the closet. She gives the chain to Chris. He takes the chain and kisses Jennifer who is lying on her back. Chris, are you sure you want to do it? Jennifer, yes. Chris, you could die. Jennifer, you will bring me back, won't you? Chris, what if I can't? Jennifer, death is part of life. Chris, if you say so. Chris and Jennifer kiss more intimately. Chris caresses her neck, bites her breasts leaving teeth marks on her skin, goes down and gives her oral pleasure as Emma records them. Chris then lifts her left leg, puts it on his shoulder and fucks her with full speed. Jennifer lets out all kinds of sexual pleasure sound. Chris turns her around, puts the chain around Jennifer's neck and enters her behind sweetly. Jennifer is burning inside out with pure carnal pleasure. Chris then strangles her as he comes inside her. Jennifer's eyes fill with tears, and they fall down by the side of her face. She takes her last breath and dies in our hearts. Chris quickly turns her around, gives her CPR and chest compression. Jennifer is not responding. We are losing Jennifer's forever. Panic hits Chris like a bucket of water. Emma continues to record everything. Chris regains control of the situation, breathes in Jennifer's mouth, CPR, and presses her chest rhythmically as if he has done it a million times and brings Jennifer back to life. He almost lost her for eternity. Jennifer takes a deep breath. Chris wipes out the sweat from his forehead. Emma gets closer to Jennifer recording. Emma, say something if you are still alive. Jennifer, where am I? Emma, Planet Earth. Chris, are you okay? Jennifer puts her arms around Chris and kisses him passionately. They kiss more intimately. Jennifer, I am in love with him. Emma, did you have orgasm? Jennifer touches her vagina. Jennifer, a major orgasm. I think I also pee on the bed. Emma, don't worry about it. I will change the bed sheet. Emma gives the camera to Chris and kisses Jennifer softly. Chris records them. Emma parts her lips from Jennifer and kisses Chris. They kiss French. Chris puts the video camera on the bed. Jennifer grabs the camera. But she is too tired to get up. She just lies and records them. Talking between soft kisses. Chris, let's not do it anymore. Emma, why not? Chris, this is not a game. Thing could go wrong. You might die and I may never bring you back. Emma, you are not going to strangle me? Chris, not now. Maybe never ever. I love you at the core of my soul. It's painful even to lose you for 1 second. Emma, seductively down by his lips, just make love to me. They kiss passionately. He then bends her right by Jennifer, who remains lying on the bed exhausted, and enters her behind, doggy style. On the soundtrack, music plays. Emma lets out all kinds of sexual sounds in pleasure. Jennifer records Emma in close-up. Chris then pulls her hair and kisses her French. They kiss more lasciviously. Emma lies on her back while her head resting on Jennifer's belly. Chris gets between her legs, lifts her right leg, puts it on his shoulder and enters her. He hits it supernaturally. Emma continues to let out sex sounds like a porn star. Chris increases the speed yet continues to enter her sweetly. He then kisses her lips and comes inside her. Emma has reached multiple climax. Chris falls on Emma out of breath. She pulls his hair and kisses him. They kiss French. They then part their lips and lie next to Jennifer, who is lying on the bed and recording, right and left. Jennifer then gets on top of Chris and kisses him. They kiss intimately with tongues. We take it with overhead shot. Int. Emma's Beach's house, living room, night. On the stereo, Self-Control by Laura Branigan play. Emma dances nude while singing. Jennifer sits on the sofa nude as well. She is smoking weed while recording Emma with the video camera. On the television, the new James Bond movie, Spectre, is playing without a sound. Jennifer is a little bit high but looks super relaxed. Chris is in the kitchen making ravioli. Emma then comes to the sofa dancing, takes the weed from Jennifer and has puffs as she continues to dance. Emma looks at the movie. Emma, isn't she the same girl from Blue Collar? Jennifer, Lee Seydoux. Emma, what's the other girl name? Jennifer, Adele. Emma, she is gorgeous. She sits next to Jennifer. They talk between puffing the weed. Jennifer, I love French movies. It's like out-of-body experience. They should bring the French writers to Hollywood and make them write for us. I felt a fool doing the Hunger Games after watching Blue is the warmest color. Emma, Chris is an amazing writer. I read some of his scripts. He is from a different planet. Jennifer, is he the one who wrote The Girl Behind My Immortality? Emma, yeah. We were working on a new story together. You know, spying on my cousin's ex, following him around and photographing him. He then went down with one knee and proposed to her. I decided to leave them alone. Wait a second. I want you to record us. Chris wrote this amazing screenplay for me titled Curve Sort of Wanted To. In the script, James McAvoy is supposed to shave my vagina, put a ring on my clitoris and eat me out. I play Pussycat, one of the deadliest assassins in the world. I was going to wait, do it when the camera rolls and capture the moment during the shooting. But million things could go wrong during filming. Besides, they are delaying it. I will record it and give the video to Ted. I have already brought a brand new shaving blade, a needle and a ring. You are going to record us. I'll be right back. Emma goes to the bathroom. The camera stays with Jennifer. She takes a puff and looks at Chris, who continues to cook while placing all kinds of spices in the food. On the stereo, Superstition by Stevie Wonder plays. Jennifer continues to check him out in a state of dream. Chris catches her eyes. She gives him a soft, beautiful smile. She is in love with him. He gives her a wink. Jennifer, what are you making? Chris, shrimp ravioli. Jennifer, it smells good. Is it done? Chris, almost. Chris resumes cooking. Jennifer turns her attention back to the movie. Yet Jennifer can't help it. She turns her eyes and looks at Chris at the kitchen. It's part of the living room. He catches her eyes again. Jennifer, I think I am in love with you. Chris just smiles softly. He doesn't know what to say. Emma returns to the living room with shaving blade, cream and needles and places them on the coffee table. She comes to Chris. Emma, Chris. Emma gets closer and gives him a sweet French kiss. They kiss more intimately. Emma, softly down by his lips. I want you to pierce my clitoris and put a ring on it. Jennifer will record it. Chris, are you sure? Emma, what do you mean? They exchange soft kisses. Chris, I thought you would never do it. Emma, why did you think that? They exchange soft kisses. Chris, I just wrote it to get your attention. Emma, you got my attention. They kiss French. Emma, Ted thought it was too graphic. I just want to do it anyway and show him the video in order to lure him. He is producing the film. You know, it's kind of a private screening. They exchange soft kisses. Chris, you want me to do it now? Emma, yes. They kiss French longer. He turns off the stove, she takes his arm, and they come to the living room. Chris, you got the shaving cream. Emma, I got everything. Chris pulls the coffee table aside, creating more space. Chris, sit on the sofa. Emma sits on the sofa and spreads her legs. Chris grabs the shaving cream, places the soap on his hand and applies on Emma's pubic hair suavely. Chris puts the shaving cream aside, grabs the shaving blade and shaves the pubic hair from Emma's vagina slowly. Jennifer records it. Chris finishes shaving and cleans few soap on Emma's vagina with a small towel. Jennifer, you have one of the most beautiful vaginas I have ever seen. Emma, thanks. Jennifer, it looks like Angelina Jolie's lips. Emma, that's the best compliment I've ever got about my vagina. Jennifer, to Chris, doesn't she have one of the most beautiful vaginas in the world? Chris, the sweetest ever. Jennifer, I just wanted to French kiss it. Chris grabs the needle. Emma, as long as it looks like Angelina Jolie's lips, I won't ever complain. Jennifer, talking about Angelina, I saw by the sea. Emma, I heard it's painful. Jennifer, it's a total departure from Mr. and Mrs. Smith. They were looking at a couple having sex through this thin hole. I got claustrophobia and couldn't watch it. Besides, they don't show you anything. Emma, what is it about? Jennifer, Angelina Jolie and her writer husband come to a beautiful town in the Mediterranean. She is depressed for some unknown reason. He is a drunk. Things are not going well. She gets up the sofa. Emma, interrupted her, give me the camera. Let me record you. Jennifer gives Emma the camera and sits on the sofa nude. Emma records her. Jennifer, anyway, they are growing apart. Vanessa, played by Angelina, is trying to discover new passion or rekindle the love that she has in her heart, which is about to be extinguished like a candle in the rain. It's a teardrop away to take the flame out of the candle and send her into eternal darkness. As a matter of fact, she is in dark places. The light has already extinguished long time ago by lightning and thunderstorm, hurricane of chaos, confusion, tears of pain and chemical imbalance in the brain caused by pills. But Vanessa is trying to light the candle back with a match of faith while it is raining like hell in her heart. I might have exaggerated it a little bit, maybe a lot. But she is lost beyond the sea. Vanessa then discovers a small hole in her room. She begins to watch two French couple, who live next room, having sex through the hole. It reawakens her sexuality. Yet, there is nothing she can really do about it. However, it draws her closer to her husband Roland, played by Brad Pitt. He joins her in her little voyeurism adventure through the tiny hole and begins to connect with her. But it depresses me. I'm kind of a claustrophobic. I hate holes. I do not mind if it were a keyhole or the hole was in the middle of the wall or higher where Vanessa can stand and finger herself or Ronald fucks her behind while she is watching the French couple having sex. But they had it in the bottom. I found myself lying on the floor with Angelina and looking at the hole. It hurt my neck. I began to contemplate a plot of my own. There is a promising fantasy scene at the beginning of the movie, which kind of captured my imagination, when Vanessa tries to envision the couple next door having sex while she is lying on the bed. She should have touched herself or done something dramatic, or use a vibrator to give the film some kind of climatic scene. It doesn't really matter. They should just get rid of the entire whole scenes and just use fantasies here and there. As a matter of fact, they should rewrite everything from scratch or maybe keep it as it is and add a couple of flashbacks that show happier days that Vanessa and Ronald had spent. Angelina might want to include a wedding scene, romantic outings and sex that they have, interesting places and few secrets that she might have, an affair with a total stranger and passionate sex scenes, and fantasies like Eyes Wide Shut starring Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. Roland also cheated on her. He confesses everything to her, but she kept her secret to herself. The movie should be told with series of flashbacks. Or perhaps that is just played out in the background. Vanessa and Ronald are in French Riviera and live in a room next to interesting French couple who are always fucking like two wild cats as if they invented sex. Vanessa is depressed by what Ronald has told her even though she has kept her infidelity to herself. You know, this is the fun part about being a woman, we can fuck 10 guys behind our boyfriends. They'd never find out about it. But if they fuck even one girl behind us, not only would we catch them soon or later, but we also can't live with it, and if we don't do something about it, we'd hate ourselves. We then quickly plot our revenge and get even till the score is 11-1 and going more. It's the same thing. In order to get even, Vanessa fucks the Frenchman and told Ronald about it. But she admits it's only physical. She is still in love with him. Ronald forgives her due to the fact that he had made mistakes in the past. They make love free of guilt. Later, the French girl seduces Ronald. Some old habits die hard. Ronald has sex with her and tells Vanessa that he fucked the French girl as well. They have a physical fight. She hits him. He slaps her. She scratches his face with her nails. He pulls her hair and slaps her more. She bites him. Unlike Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it is a realistic fight. Vanessa throws everything at him, screaming, crashing, and yelling while crying like a teenager. Ronaldo tries to calm her. She hits him. She doesn't want to be comforted. She just wants to fight. Vanessa asks Ronald to slap her hard, punch her, whatever it's, to get it out of his system while she is hitting him. He couldn't hit her. Ronald thinks she is crazy. But Vanessa won't let it go. She crushes his mother. He slaps her hard. She tells him your mother can slap better than that. She spits on his face. That does it. He beats the hell out of her like how Leonard hit Carrie Ann Moss in Memento. That's PG. Maybe the daylights out of her. She is bleeding from her nose. She mocks him. Is that all you got, bitch? Vanessa turns into a monster and attacks Ronald with everything she got. It's unscripted, real fight. They then kiss passionately, rip each other clothes savagely and make love till dawn as if they were made of fire. It's the best sex they have ever had in their lives. Later, they sit in the bathtub and agree to have fun, not to take things too personal. But there is still something missing from Vanessa's life. She asks him what's next. That's when Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice starring Natalie Wood comes to the picture, a mate-sharing foursome. They call it swinging. Whatever it's, Vanessa and Ronald swap partners with the French couple. They have sex with their new partners in 2 separate rooms, or they do it in one bedroom, 4 of them together like celebrities starring Leonardo DiCaprio. It depends on Angelina. She then confesses all of her secrets to Ronald as we see them in flashbacks. Or she just keeps it to herself. They just go home and start new. Emma, that is a hell of way to criticize a movie. You should be a fucking writer. Jennifer, I would have just watched and kept it to myself. I was seized by phobia of the hole. It's near the floor. I was telling myself they were not going to look through that stupid hole and they kept looking through the hole. I started to create a story inside my head just to get it over. Emma, did you tell Angelina about it? Jennifer, no, I didn't. I felt I shouldn't say anything. You know, it's her baby project. She wrote and directed it. It does not really matter how bad the movie is. It's learning experience. But to be honest, it kind of throws me away. I used to watch Mr. and Mrs. Smith whenever I get stress. The movie is okay. But I still don't know what it's really about. But Angelina and Brad had beautiful chemistry. I had always envied it. You know, getting in a fight, kissing, making out, and shooting bad guys. I modeled my state of mind based on that chemistry. Life is madness. But after I watched By the Sea, all of a sudden, I got this weird feeling inside my belly. This can't be real. If things could change like that in 10 years, I have to pour out my heart, give everything I have and leave nothing for chance. A lot of people don't understanding me. They see me on talk shows. Here come that crazy cheerful bitch. What did she smoke today, or what drug did she take? It better not be ecstasy. I can't look at old interviews I had with David Letterman. I am not embarrassed by them. But it's an act, or rather it's a defensive mechanism. It just comes out of me naturally. I am nothing like that, you know, happy-go-lucky. But I don't mind dancing in the street of New York City for an hour with Happy by Pharrell. David describes me the best. He said, her motto should be don't mistake my sense of alive fun for a lack of seriousness. But that will never be my motto. I can act serious in front of a camera at any given day. But I am incapable of being serious in real life. The delight is part of me. Even though I just said it was a defense mechanism, it is who I'm. Perhaps sometimes I can be a bitch. I think schizophrenic is the best word that can describe me the best. I do not know who and what I am. Humorously, I should wear a t-shirt that says, I am a schizophrenic prostitute. Fuck me or leave me the fuck alone. But seriously, I am not a prostitute. I'm a sexual girl like Amy. But that's a different story. You know, I just don't want to be caught up in a mindless scandal. At the same time, I won't lie to you. I love the attention. Not the paparazzi. I hate them with vengeance. But posing for magazine like Elle, In Style, Vanity Fair, and Vogue and various entertainments magazine and posters. Maybe writers like Chris would notice me and get inspired. You know, I am not a fucking role model. I have problem of my own. I fall in love easily, get hurt and bleed monthly like every bitch who can't tell the difference between right and wrong. I am an artist. I have to save myself before I save the world. You know, I love sex. I don't mind being nude in front of a camera and doing raw sex scenes as long as I find the right project. You know, Jennifer is on top of the world, a porn. That's a joke. However, I might have said things like women should get paid equally like men, but I do not care. I would have done them for free. Art has no monetary value. You know, at least I am not standing on a UN podium, addressing gender equality like Hermione Granger. I might sound egoistic sometimes. But is that a bad thing? I have to work harder than God in order to back up my ego. They say, genius or luck is 1%. 99% is hard work. Whatever it is. My conscience doesn't even allow me to say common thing like that. It doesn't matter whether it's a man or a woman. I like creating a sense of competition, always push myself over the limit. Hollywood is a dream for those who don't know what they're doing. It's a business for those who just want to make money. It's personal or documentary for those who wants to be taken seriously and spread message whatever social and political views they have. It's a lifestyle for those who get up in the morning, go to work, read scripts, memorize them just as they are written and do their parts without getting caught up in the moment. It's the pursuit of happiness for those who want to get cute. But for some of us, it's a spell. Whoever created us and placed fire in our soul wanted us to do nothing but make movies. Set the bar higher than ever, push boundaries and take it to the next level. When directors say, action, I give 1000% and always get lost in my characters. I don't even have time for boyfriend or family. Film is my family. Film is my father. Film is my mother. Film is my brother. Film is my sister. I breathe film. Hearing my heart beating like a drum when I am about to do something exciting has become instinct. Worrying about what I am going to do next is almost second nature. I'm the best thing ever happened to this fucking world is my motto. I know they will be talking about me generation to come more than Jesus Christ and Merlin Streep. Honestly, I don't really give a fuck. I just want to have fun doing what I love to do, what I am passionate about and goes out on top. Emma, that's terrifying. But I might give you a competition for going out on top. I am a loose cannon bitch. I play unfair. You can ask Chris. The devil has nothing on me. Jennifer, give me the camera. I want to ask you a couple of questions. Emma, is it sex lie and videotape? Emma gives Jennifer the camera and sits on the sofa. Jennifer, everybody used to talk about it when I was in high school. But I have never seen it. She begins to records her. Emma, it's about a guy who interviews women about their sexual experience and fantasies while recording them. Jennifer, what is your sexual fantasy? Emma, I am a freak. If I weren't an actress, I would have been a porn star. Jennifer, have you seen XXX movie? Emma, who hasn't seen pornography? Jennifer, I never seen any. Emma, get the fuck out of here. We sat and watched Shame together. Jennifer, that's not pornography. Pornography is when the guy comes on girl's face or put his dick in her ass. Wait. I just gave away myself, didn't I? Emma, don't be ashamed. I used to watch porn in high school and wet myself. Jennifer, Amy said it's addictive. Emma, what's it between you and Amy? Jennifer, we are just friend. Emma, are you fucking her? Jennifer, no, I am not a lesbian. To Chris, do you watch porn? Chris, I used to watch it in fast forward. I think I am like Emma. I am always in the mood for sex. Jennifer, to Emma, have you ever had sex with two guys at the same time like chasing Amy? It doesn't have to be sandwiched. Just a regular sex with two guys. Emma, I have fantasized about it but no. I might try it in the future. But I'd love to do it in a movie, sex with two guys. Chris, why do you think about a girl falling in love with two boys? She couldn't make up her mind whom she wanted to be with. She ends up sleeping with both of them simultaneously. Yet, she slightly favors the cute one emotionally. She is in love with him. He is sweet and sensitive. She gets lost whenever she makes love to him, and reaches beautiful orgasm. However, she can't get enough of the other guy sexually. He is a sex machine. They are match made in hell. He fucks her like animal. She doesn't back down either. Yet, she gets her climax and deep orgasm through threesome. It's like Threesome, the film starring Lara Flynn Boyle, Stephen Baldwin, and Josh Charles. Unlike Threesome, they go to a distance. Can you build a story around what I just told you? Seductive Pain, Part 8. Chris, sure. We will work on it together when I have free time. I am kind of a little bit busy at the moment. Emma, take your time. Jennifer, I'm jealous of you. It's unfair you get to have sex with 2 guys. Emma, it's you who brought it. Jennifer, did you just come up with the story now? Emma, it's not much of a story. I just thought about Madonna making love to a sensitive boy and having sex with a fuck machine in Reservoir Dogs. The only twist I had is threesome. Jennifer, but that's not how you described it. You were talking about falling in love, match made in hell and deep orgasm. I can rewind it and show you the video. That's your Oscar, bitch. Emma, it doesn't mean anything. Jennifer, I want to play your best friend. Emma, it's up to him. I am not a writer. Jennifer, I am kidding. I don't want any part of it. It's your story. Live out your fantasy to the fullest. Humorously, I don't want to steal the spotlight away from you. Emma, nobody steals spotlight away from me. The word spotlight is invented for me before I was even born in quantum retrocausality. It's a matter of time. I will take Hollywood by storm. Jennifer, what is quantum retrocausality? Emma, according to Chris, it's when the future affect the present. Jennifer, to Chris it's amazing. I don't know where you get your ideas. Quantum retrocausality, strangling and piercing. Do you get up in the morning and say I am going to fuck with people's minds? Emma, he just dreams about them in the night. Chris, it's the devil that makes me do it. Jennifer, you are a beautiful psycho. Emma, anyway, we haven't forgotten getting my clitoris pierced, have we? To Jennifer, make sure you got everything. Jennifer, I will film it. Emma spreads her legs. Emma, to Chris I am ready. Chris grabs the needle. Chris, are you sure? It will hurt like a bitch. It's like losing your virginity. Emma, it didn't hurt when I lost my virginity. Jennifer, just wait a minute. I want to ask you one last question. Whom did you lose your virginity? Emma, to some dickhead in high school. His name is John. I thought I was in love with him. I read few article about how to lose your virginity in the internet. They said if you relaxed or loved the person that you were giving it to, it wouldn't hurt. We kissed a little bit. He torn my hymen and entered me. I didn't really feel any pain like I anticipated. What about you? Jennifer, I lost it to this boy named Matthew. He is sweet. First, I couldn't wait to lose it. Then at the last minute, I got self-conscious. I loved him. But did I want to spend the rest of my life with him? Have his baby and all that bullshit? I knew I wanted to be an actress since I was a little girl. It sounds arrogant. But I always felt a sense of it, girl. Maybe, it is the whiskey is speaking behalf of me. Anyway, it is not really peer pressure. But for some reason I just wanted to get over with it. My brain splits into various characters like a schizophrenic. I said to myself I'm ready. I want to do it. I did it. I felt no pain. I knew my virginity was gone in vain and promised me it would never return again. Emma, that rhymes like lemon pie, but were you on the bottom or on top? Jennifer, I was on the bottom. Missionary. What about you? Emma, it's missionary as well, but if I could go back in time and do it again. Looks at Chris, I would have lost it to Chris doggy style. I am ready. Let's get over with it. Emma gets up from the sofa, gives him an erotic French kiss, sits back on the sofa and spreads her legs. Jennifer records them. Chris, I have a confession to make. Emma, what is it? Chris, I have never done this before. Emma, it's not a big deal. You are not doing heart surgery. It's like piercing ear. Just do it slowly. Chris, sure. Emma, wait. Let me wet myself a little bit. Emma begins to finger herself, rubbing her clitoris like a nymphomaniac. On the soundtrack, Love to Love You Baby by Donna Summer plays. Chris, I got it. Chris gets between her legs, stimulates her clitoris with his tongue and gives her a quick oral pleasure. Emma grabs his head against her vagina as she reaches climax. She takes a deep breath. Emma, I need that. Chris kisses Emma's clitoris softly and pierces it slowly. Emma lets out a small scream like Sandy in Grease, but she handles the sting like a pro. Her clitoris bleeds just a little bit. Chris cleans the blood with a small towel and places the ring on her clitoris. He gives her a little bit oral pleasure and kisses her lips. Emma puts her arms around him. They kiss French. Emma, I want you to make love to me. They kiss more passionately. Chris then caresses her neck and gets between Emma's legs and enters her as they begin to have sexual intercourse on the floor. Jennifer continues to record them. Chris then bends her against the sofa and enters her doggy style. Emma makes all kinds of sexual sounds. Chris is hitting it like a natural-born killer. He then pulls her hair and comes inside her. They both fall down on the floor. Emma gets on top of him and kisses him lasciviously. He is out of breath. She lies next to him on the floor. Jennifer continues to records them with overhead shot. Chris, you might get infection. They kiss French. Chris, let me get the scotch. Chris collects all of his strength, gets up and walks to the private bar. Chris grabs a bottle of whiskey, returns to Emma, opens the top and pours the liquor on her clitoris just a little bit. Emma, it burns like a witch. Give it to me. Chris gives her the bottle. Emma has a sip and puts it aside. She lies on the floor and touches the ring on her clitoris. Jennifer, how does it feel? Emma, it felt wonderful. He fucked the daylight out of me. That's what I call real sex. I felt every penetration inside my vagina. Jennifer, I am talking about the piercing. Emma, it feels sexy. She spreads her legs and shows it to her. Jennifer, it looks seductive. Emma, I might get a real rose tattoo after the filming. Jennifer, what tattoo are you talking about? Emma, in the screenplay curve that he wrote, I am supposed to get a rose tattoo just above my vagina. She touches down by her belly where the tattoo is supposed to be. But it's going to be a fake tattoo. Yet, I am considering getting a real rose tattoo as soon as I am done filming. First, I have to show Ted the video and get a green light. You know, they have Vincent shooting heroin in Pulp Fiction and say it's cool and all. But they see a girl getting piercing on her clitoris, they totally freak out as if it were the end of the world. Jennifer, to Chris I want to get piercing too. To Emma, do you have an extra ring? Emma, imitating Mia in Pulp Fiction you can use my needle. I don't have cooties. Of Jennifer's look, I'm fucking with you. I brought few. There are on the coffee table. She gets up, grabs a needle and gives it to Jennifer. Jennifer, I don't mind using your shaving blade if it's the only one you have in the house. But I am assuming you have kept a couple of new shaving blades in the bathroom to shave your legs and the hair on your armpits? Emma, I have plenty. I will be right back. Emma goes upstairs to get a new shaving blade. Jennifer puts down the camera and the needle on the coffee table, gets closer to Chris and kisses him. They kiss intimately. Jennifer, what are you thinking? Chris, a lot of things. They exchange soft kisses. Jennifer, I'm told you're a genius. Chris, I am cursed. Jennifer, what makes you think you are cursed? They exchange soft kisses. Chris, I have no peace of mind whatsoever. Jennifer, what do you need peace for? Chris, I need a sense of peace in order to write. Jennifer, you don't really need that stupid peace. It's myth. None of us have it. You just need a little bit chaos in your soul and make things happen out of blue. They exchange soft kisses. Chris, softly by her lips, are you sure? Jennifer, trust me. They are talking between soft kisses. Chris, there is a living breathing devil inside my brain. Jennifer, I noticed it. But don't feel bad. I have one of those too. It's occupational hazard. They exchange juicy soft kisses. Chris, it kind of scares me. Jennifer, we are supposed to be frightened. If it doesn't scare us, it's not art. Chris, that makes sense. Jennifer, nothing exists without some sort of purpose. It's law of existence. Chris, do crazy people know they are crazy? Jennifer, what do you think? Chris, I know I am crazy. But does knowing you are crazy make you sane or less crazy? Jennifer, less crazy. Sanity doesn't exist. Chris, sometimes, your mind puts you in the situation where you have to declare war against yourself. It feels like you have to rebel even though you are born a king. Fire when you are water. Jennifer, it's like Jesus Christ turning water to wine. Chris, no, I don't mean it like that. Let's try it on thee and see if it works like charm. You become a rebel like Joan of Arc when you are a princess. Flesh and blood when you are a spirit. Fire when you are H20. A teardrop when you are air. She smiles in beauty. Jennifer, you are something. They exchange soft kisses. Chris, what do you want? Jennifer, write me something like blue is the warmest color. I need someone to kiss and make love to me from beginning to end. Someone to fall in love head over heels, and cry like Adele the French girl. But it has to be a man. A girl falls in love with a boy. He is an artist. She is a medical student and works for WebMD writing health-related articles online. Or maybe she is a singer. She starts out singing at clubs, gets a break and becomes a star. Or perhaps she's a writer. She's writing her first novel. She is like a little girl when she is with him, and might wet the bed with excitement just dreaming about his eyes even though he is lying next to her. They make love day and night. He does her nude portrait while she is smoking cigarette. Later, they have a fight. They break up. She is hurt and cries like a little girl. Inspired by true love, she pens down her first novel. In the end, they put their different aside and get back together. They make love and live happily ever after. Something NC-17. I will produce and direct it myself. Chris, softly by her lips. What about she is an astrophysicist and working on her PhD in extra dimensions. She meets a man named Ethan from another planet. Ethan is not telling her he came from billion light years away. They embark in a passionate sexual relationship while she is working on extra dimensions, writing formula. And the government is building a gate that allows them to access hidden dimensions based on her formula. Ethan helps her with her homework. She then finds out not only he is from another planet, but he is also running from the law. He killed a man who raped and murdered his girlfriend. The government from his planet sent 2 men to bring him back in peace. You also discovers his girlfriend looks exactly like you. He does not want to apart from you ever. Jennifer, that's sweet. But I don't really like too much science fiction. It doesn't allow me to express a lot of emotions and show my range. I am a very emotional person. I live and bleed on emotions. But I would still love to do it. Just write it down. I will do it for the sake of variety. Ironically, I love to watch science fiction like Back to the Future. Chris, don't sweat it. I might have used the same plot, a man losing his wife and traveling to a plant and meet a woman who looks exactly like his wife. Till I think something original. What do you think about playing Lauren Clayton based on Michael Clayton? I just watched it last night. I was thinking about you the entire film. They could have easily rewritten it for female. Yet since George Clooney's performance is flawless. Instead, I created another story in the back of my mind while watching the film, like how you created By the Sea earlier. Lauren is a fixer New York City law firm like Michael Clayton. Yet she just graduated from law school and chooses that line of profession. A wealthy client named Richard is in trouble. He is the owner and CEO of a famous pharmaceutical company called Biotopia, estimate $200 billion in total assets. Note, if it's convenient, we will see Jennifer in the lead role. Chris, Lauren is called to take care of a Russian model named Sophia who just got OD and lying naked at Richard's beautiful multimillion condo in New York City. Lauren finds her unconscious. She quickly arranges the girl to be taken to a hospital. Yet, at the hospital, Dr. John tells her Sophia has fallen into a deep coma and might not come out of it. She is brain dead. They give her 5% chance to regain consciousness. Dr. Johns adds they should have brought Sophia right away. Lauren tells Dr. Johns she will take care of the bill, keep her alive. Sophia's Russian relatives and friend come to the hospital. They are told she might not wake up. Lauren looks at Sophia's cell phone and finds out Boris was the last person that she contacted. Boris is Sophia's cousin. Lauren has few words with Boris at the hospital while pretending to be Sophia's friend. He tells her not only did he see Sophia leaving with Richard, but she also sent him pictures of the condo, expensive paintings, sculptures, electronic devices, etc. and scenic side of New York City. Boris then says he will sue Richard. Lauren calls her boss Amanda, played by Julia Roberts, and tells her the news. Amanda meets with Jason, Richard's manager. They agree to give Sophia's family $12 million quietly. Lauren is dating David. He is a lawyer. She meets him at a romantic restaurant. They have dinner and make love. They sit in bathtub and talk about their future together, but she keeps the news to herself. In the meantime, unrelated incident, group of people file a class action lawsuit against Biotopia for $5 billion for Tipitin, the blockbuster drug, used to treat depression, which caused cancer, stroke, and kidney failure. They are represented by a young lawyer named James. He is Lauren's ex-boyfriend. The firm that Lauren is working for take the case, led by Veronica, played by Angelina Jolie, to represent Biotopia. Veronica is the equivalent of Karen Crowder, played by Tilda Swinton in Michael Clayton. She plays unfair. Veronica finds about the incident between Sophia and Richard. She thinks it could ruin her client's image. In the other hand, Lauren, who felt guilty about everything, comes to the hospital to see Sophia. Amazingly, Sophia has shown progress. Her family and friends say they heard her talking in her sleep. Dr. John tells Lauren it's a miracle. He has never seen anything like this. Sophia might come out of coma sooner than he expected. He gives her from almost none to 65%. Yet, Veronica contacts 2 men, Robert and Jeremiah, and order them to get rid of them. They kill Sophia and make it look like she dies of brain seizure. Lauren is told Sophia died of natural cause due to the trauma. However, she doesn't believe them. Lauren thinks it's related to the case. Robert and Jeremiah then kill Boris and destroy the body with acid. There is no trace of him. Lauren tries to contact him in vain. Yet she is told he's missing. Robert and Jeremiah then begin to follow Lauren. Later, Lauren visits Amy, her sister, whose 6-year-old son, Tim, is diagnosed with rare blood disease called blood. It's one of its kind. Amy needs close to $200,000 for a medical bill to drain out his entire blood and replace it with new blood. Lauren promises her she will get the money as soon as possible. A man named Patrick, who is representing Biotopia, tells her his client, Richard and Biotopia, are manufacturing Camoxit to treat anxiety disorder, which causes kidney failure and various cancer. They add dangerous and illegal solution called Profen for the sole purpose of profit. So people get sick and pay other expensive drugs and stay in medication. Patrick adds you take a pill for headache or stress, you end up suffer from kidney failure. If you are lucky, you get kidney donation from a relative. However, you have to buy a ton of pills to keep your new kidney functioning. That is just only the side effects. The Profen that they put in drugs also causes cancer. You don't want to know how many pills you need to take to fight cancer unsuccessfully. This is additional information. Not only might it lead Biotopia to be out of business, shut down, permanently, but also the government could brought a criminal charge against those who have involved in the act. They will face prison time and heavy penalties. Patrick tells her he is building a case to expose Biotopia. Lauren asks him who provided him the information. Patrick says he can't tell her. It is for the safety of the individual. In meantime, Robert and Jeremiah have been listening to the conversation and recording. Later, they play it to Veronica. She tells them to take care of Patrick. Robert and Jeremiah kill Patrick and make it look like a suicide. Lauren is sad by the news of Patrick's death. She knows it has to do with the case. Laura runs into James by accident. They sit at a coffee shop and talk about the case. He tells her Biotopia is settling the lawsuit for $3.5 billion. He might get rich and will send her a rose each day. He missed her a lot. She missed him too. They make love. Laura tells him about Camexit. James says he needs some kind of evidence. He will sue them for every penny they are worth. Lauren breaks into Patrick's apartment in the middle of the night and looks for verification that might help her settle some score. She finds a copy of confidential Biotopia's document and a name Antony. She suspects Antony is the person who provided Patrick with the information. In the meantime, 2 police come to arrest her. Lauren quickly hides in the closet and eventually escapes through the fire exit. Lauren runs a background check on Antony with the aid of her cousin Luke, a hacker. She finds out who Antony is and where he lives and work. Lauren contacts Antony. He tells her Camexit causes kidney failure, liver disease, and cancer. But that is the tip of the iceberg. Biotopia is manufacturing antidepressants Tipiton, Strex, and Upetone and failure to report safety dosage about the leading heart disease drug Cardio, which lead to all sorts of cancers and stroke. Robert and Jeremiah, who are now following Lauren and have been recording the conversation, inform Veronica the latest, new finding. Lauren is about to show Amanda, her boss, what she has discovered. Amanda tells her not to worry about it. Not big a deal. She has known about it. Instead, Amanda has already renewed Lauren's contract and gives her $200,000 bonus, which she needs to pay for Tim's, her sister's son, medical bill. Lauren realizes they all are trying to bury it, there is a conspiracy. And feels she should take it easy. Lauren takes the check and gives it to Amy. While visiting little Tim at the hospital, Lauren gets a call to meet a hit-and-run client named Roger somewhere in North New York. The 2 hitmen follows her. When she gets there, there is nobody is inside the house but the dead body of Antony. Lauren knows they are going to kill her. It's a setup. She grabs her gun from her car and hides in the house. Robert and Jeremiah get out of the car. 4 more hitmen arrive at the house and join them. They come after her. Lauren and the bad guys have a well-scripted shootout like LA Confidential. Lauren kill all of them. Yet, Robert is alive. He is shot in the dick. Lauren points a shotgun at him and steps on his dick. He screams in pain. She asks him who is behind it. Robert tells her it's Veronica. She knows it's her. Lauren just wants to make sure she hits the nail on the head. Lauren tells Robert to call Veronica and informs her that she is killed. Robert hesitates to do so. Lauren steps on his wound. He screams in agony. He has no choice but to make the call. Robert tells Veronica that Lauren is dead. They took care of the business. Things went accordingly. Lauren then shoots Robert in the head and takes him out of his misery. At a Biotopia's board meeting, Veronica and Biotopia reaches agreement with James and plaintiffs' representatives of the class action lawsuit settlement for $3.2 billion. Veronica then comes to the ladies' room after she got a call by a videotape of Sophia and Richard. It's fake, in order to get Veronica's undivided attention. Lauren is waiting for her. She tells Veronica she has a disc that ruins Biotopia. She will forgive her the role Veronica had in Patrick, Antonio, and Sophia's murder, lying, cheating, stealing, corruption and trying to have her killed as well. She has forgiven her. Let bygones be bygones. However, Lauren tricks her into offering her $5 billion for the disc and for her silence. Veronica threatens to have Lauren killed again. That was just the beginning. It's not over. Veronica says she will go after Lauren's sister Amy, her nephew Tim and every person she knows in the planet, including David and James that she has been screwing. Veronica adds Lauren doesn't know who she is fucking with. She is on her. However, Lauren has been recording the conversation. The FBI storm in the ladies' room and arrest Veronica. Later, Veronica makes a deal with the DA and gives them Biotopia in a plate. Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act and the government under the False Claims Act file a criminal charge against Biotopia for prompting Camexit that causes kidney failure, liver disease and cancer and manufacturing of drugs for false uses, including the antidepressants Tipiton, Strex, and Upetone, failure to report safety dosage about the leading heart diseases drug Cardio, reporting false prices to government healthcare programs, and bribery. A lot of people and CEOs are arrested. Biotopia plead not guilty for all charges. They hire David to represent them. In the other hand, Lauren visits Tim who got new blood at the hospital. He is alive. Amy thanks her sister. Lauren leaves the hospital with a sense of pride in her eyes, gets in her convertible and drives in the street of New York free of worries. The end. Jennifer, I like Lauren. She is a two-timer. But I want something original or maybe scandalous. You know, some things makes me want to say I achieved things I've never thought were possible like an artificial intelligence. But I'll never feel completed. You know, there is something wrong with me. I don't know what it's. I will always feel underachiever no matter what I do. That keeps me focused, push myself to the limit. In the meantime, I don't really have to put pressure on myself. There is always pressure that manifests inside my soul naturally wanting to be the best ever. Is that a crime? Chris, I'll take my time and write you something seductive. I am working on Divinity. It's a story about an FBI agent named Jenny who is looking for a serial killer who kills based on tarot divinity. I wrote the plot in my email. I had you in mind for the starring role. I will email it to you when I get a chance. Jennifer, why don't you email it to me right now? I want to look at it. She grabs her iPod from the sofa and gives him the iPod. Chris opens his email. Jennifer, Jennifer1990@gmail.com. Chris sends her the plot under the title of Divinity. Jennifer opens her email, clicks and reads it out loud. Jennifer, Jenny is a rookie FBI agent. At the beginning of the movie a man is found at the circus nude tied up in S&M. He is branded with the word magician on his chest. Roman number 1 is written on his forehead. Jenny is assigned to investigate the case by a special agent Jack McCarty. It's her first case. Note, if it's convenient, we will see Jennifer in the lead role. Jennifer, Jenny comes to the crime scene, looks at the body and knows right away she is dealing with a serial killer. She tells Jack she has a feeling this is just the beginning. The killer is killing based on tarot divinatory. 1 is the magician. 2 is the priestess. 3 is the empress. 4 is emperor. 5 is the pope. 6 is the lovers. 7 is the chariot. 8 is justice. 9 is the hermit. 10 is wheel of fortune. 11 is strength. 12 is the hanged man. 13 is death. 14 is temperance. 15 is the devil. 16 is the tower. 17 is the star. 18 is the moon. 19 is the Sunday. 20 is judgment. 21 is the world. Last is the fool. Jack asks her if she can handle it. She tells him it's a piece of cake. But deep down in her heart, Jenny has no clue what she is dealing with. Yet she is hungry like all rookie FBI agents who watched Jodie Foster in Silence of the Lambs and want to solve crimes and prove they are the best. Jack tells her it's her case. Meanwhile, Detective Kevin, who just transferred from Baltimore, is assigned to investigate the case, NYPD Homicide Division. He was at the crime scene questioning a witness. Jenny has seen him. She is attracted to him. But she dismisses the thought of getting intimate with a detective for now. She has to focus on the case. Jenny studies the case at her home looking at the photographs of the crime scenes. She then comes to the New York City Police Department and has few words with Kevin. The forensics have found a card with the picture of the magician inside the victim body. She looks at the body again. Jenny tells Kevin FBI might have to take over the case. They are dealing with a serial killer. He tells her it doesn't matter who is in charge of the investigation. The main object is to solve the crime. They have to work as a team. She likes him. He is into her. They agree to meet at a restaurant and discuss about the case. Jenny and Kevin sit at a romantic restaurant and talk about the motive behind the murder, what they are dealing with and who the killer might be. She asks him about his past. Kevin tells her he worked at Baltimore Homicide Division but decided to return home after he has a fallout with his girlfriend Marta. Kevin caught her having sex with another man at the house. Jenny tells him that's sad. Kevin thinks it is not a big deal. He was caught up with a murder investigation of a girl named Jessica who was found killed while tied up in S&M and raped, and didn't give his girlfriend the attention she deserved. Marta could have fucked the man in the motel any hours of the day. But she waited past 12 a.m., which he usually came home from work, past midnight. She wanted him to catch her in the act. Marta told him she had a need. Jenny tells him she is a bitch. Kevin admits it's not Marta's fault. She is a sex psychologist and wrote various sex books. She just wanted to get inside his head and make him react like the devil. They had involved in S&M sex and had got him hooked deep into the game. Kevin even suspects Marta might have something to do with Jessica's death. That's just Kevin's theory. He has no proof. However, he loved her, didn't want to be her slave, chose to leave the town silently and return to home beloved New York City. Jenny asks him if he solved the case. He admits it is a bit complicated. He was having an affair with Jessica, the victim. The captain found out about it and took him off the case. Later, a man named Jesse whom he caught having sex with his girlfriend confessed for the murder. Jesse said it was accident. S&M sex might have gone wrong. He read one of Marta's books of the art of sadomasochistic sex, BDSM, and strangulation, raped and killed Jessica by accident. It was part of the foreplay. He has a video to prove it. The juries found him not guilty. He walked free. Jenny thinks that's weird. Regardless, Jenny and Kevin have few more drinks, dance slow, visit the crime scene at the circus, take a walk while conversing, kiss, and make love at his apartment. They sit in the bathtub. Kevin tells her his S&M history with his ex and shows her a sex book written by Marta. Jenny is turned on by it. The next day, they question a couple of witnesses and suspects, but it leads nowhere. Victim number 2 is found inside a church nude tied up in S&M. She is branded with the word priestess on her chest. Roman number 2 is written on her forehead. There is a stitch on her stomach. The forensics find a card inside her belly. At the FBI cyber office, Jenny asks a man named Max to give her names of people who visit the tarot cards reading online in New York City. He gives her the list of names. Jenny and Kevin question them one by one. They then come to question a man named Jason at his New York City apartment. The man fires at them and runs down the building like Seven starring Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. Jenny and Kevin chase him. Jason fires at them and hides down by a swimming pool outside. Jenny and Kevin search for the suspect. Jason comes out of the hide. When Jason is about to shoot Kevin who is facing the wrong direction, Jenny dives in the air and pushes Kevin into the swimming pool that is covered with dry leaves and goes into the water with him, saving his life. Jason fires at them blindly. Bullets pass by Jenny and Kevin, few inches, cutting the water like well-designed little metal asteroids from space and entering Earth atmosphere with steady speed, except they are neither crashing on forests and wiping out dinosaurs nor hitting Jenny and Kevin who are not standing on a solid ground and waiting for miracle but floating inside the water like two lovers in a planet that is filled with ocean. Jenny then gets out of the water like a supernatural-born predator and fires at Jason. She hits him in the throat. Jason holds his neck and falls down spitting blood. Jenny gets out the pool, removes her shirt, and holds it on Jason's neck in vain to stop the bleeding. Jason dies on her hand. FBI searches his house and finds all kinds tarot card and clues. Jenny also checks Jason's background and history of mental illness. Jason doesn't fit the profile of a serial killer. He is a paranoid schizophrenia who has a death wish. FBI think they got their serial kill and closes the case, so does NYPD. Kevin buys few groceries. However, Jenny tells Jack she killed the wrong person. Jason doesn't fit the description. The killer is still out there. Jack tells her just go home, Jenny, and take a hot bath. We will talk about it in the morning. Jenny comes to her house. The door is opened. She takes out her gun and enters slowly. Jenny finds Kevin in the kitchen nude cooking. She doesn't know how he got there and doesn't care. She removes all of her clothes and approaches him. They kiss and make love on the kitchen table. She then asks him to tie her up and spank her in S&M. He tied her up with a wire and spanked her with his belt. They have erotic sex. Victim 3 is found at her house nude tied up in S&M and branded with the word the Empress on her chest. The Roman number 3 is written on her forehead. There is a stitch on her belly. Forensics collect evidence. Jenny and Kevin come to the crime scene and investigate the case. Later at the morgue, the forensics find a card with the picture of the Empress. In the meantime, a special agent Jack tells Capital Richard FBI is taking over the case. It's federal. They are welcome to assist, but they have to hand over all the evidence to the Bureau as soon as possible. Capital Richard can't argue. They've never seen anything like this. Now Jenny is in charge of the investigation. She knows next is Emperor, but she has no lead. Jenny and Kevin question a couple of suspects, which points nowhere. Jenny is upset. She gets aroused when she is nervous. Jenny asks Kevin to tie her up in S&M and spank her to take away the pressure from her head. They buy few S&M products, come to Kevin's house, he tied her up in BDMS and spank her with a whip. They then have S&M sex. Victim number 4 is found tied up in S&M nude inside a castle. He is about 45 years old, branded with the word the Emperor on his chest. The Roman number 4 is written on his forehead. Jenny and Kevin come to the crime scene and examine the body. There is a stitch on his stomach. The forensics find the major arcana card, the Emperor. Jenny and Kevin questions a couple of suspects, but no one is talking, and the names that she got from the computer doesn't help. However, she decides to give it one last shot. Jenny and Kevin come to Manhattan to question a man named Edward, who is not only has visited the tarot website, but he is also into S&M and owns a big erotic club. Edward tells them he only talks to Jenny in private. She sits at the sofa in the VIP room and asks Edward few questions. One of his female friends injects Jenny with sex drug in the neck. She falls unconscious. Minutes later, when Jenny regains consciousness, she finds herself tied up in BDSM. Edward spanks her with a whip and gives her few names. Actually, she enjoyed the spanking. She had orgasm. However, she is not there to fool around. The information she got from Edward might help her. At the same time, Kevin is tricked by a beautiful girl named Rita at the bar. She gives the bartender a wink to place drug in his drink. She takes him to her house and has sex with him in S&M. The next day, victim number 5 is found in the church tied up S&M naked, branded with the words "the Pope." The Roman number 5 is written on his forehead. Jenny and Kevin come to the crime scene, don't want to talk about what happened last night. Jenny examines the body, there is a stitch on the victim's stomach. The forensics find Major Arcana card, Chief Hierophant, inside the victim's stomach. Based on name that she got from Edward, Jenny and Kevin question a man named Austin who wrote a book on a tarot killer. Austin tells Jenny it is a freak accident. He wrote the book before the tarot killer incident took place and published it online. People weren't really interested. But now the tarot killer is killing people. All of a sudden, readers show interest. It's the #1 New York best-selling listed. He has to use anonymous named Charles to keep the media off his back. Jenny reads the book. According to Austin's novel, the killer is going to kill 2 lovers. However, victim number 6 is found nude alone in a garden. She is tied up in S&M branded with the words "lover." The Roman number 6 is written on her forehead. There are 2 stitches between her breasts where her heart is and on her belly. Her vagina is sewed. Jenny and Kevin come to the crime scene and examine the body. Later at the morgue, the forensics find a major card of the lovers in her stomach and her heart inside her vagina. Jenny thinks there is a motive. They might be looking for a young man between ages 25 to 35. He has a warehouse and well organized. They are dealing with a man who has deep understanding of what he's doing. He is not a typical serial killer. Jenny and Kevin work on the case at her house, examining each evidence. However, Jenny gets frustrated. She can't connect the killing. It's random. She thinks maybe there is no motive. In order to curb her enthusiasm, Jenny puts on S&M outfit and seduces Kevin to tie her up and spank her in BDSM. Kevin ties her up, spanks her. They then have erotic sex. Jenny and Kevin come to question a man named Dr. Matthew who is expert on tarot card. He has written a couple of books in tarot card and the mystery behind the divinity and how they can predict the future. He is not a suspect. Jenny just wants to have few words with him and have some kind of understanding about the subject. She wants to know what is inside the killer mind. What is the motive? What needs does he serve by killing? Who is going to kill next? But Dr. Matthew can't help her. He tells Jenny he is just a professor at NYU. He is not a god. It's pure fiction. He just wrote what he read here and there. He doesn't know whether it's going to rain tomorrow or not. Victim number 7 is found nude tied up S&M inside a carriage. He is branded with the word chariot on his chest. Roman number 7 is written on his forehead. FBI forensics collect evidence. Jenny and Kevin come to the crime scene and examine the body. He is painted with white and black. There is a stitch on the victim's stomach. Later, at the morgue, the forensics finds the major arcana of the chariot card inside the victim's stomach and a wedding ring. Jenny questions the man's wife Maria. She tells Jenny that her husband was having an affair. He was cheating on her. Jenny thinks the killer might have a motive. He is preaching. Jenny begins to dig background information of the victims. Some of them are guilty of adultery. Some are guilty of child molestation. Some of them might have committed murder, etc. Yet they all are gotten away with their crimes. The killer is not only playing God, but he is also playing the devil. Jenny must find him before he kills again. Jenny sits with Kevin at a restaurant and tells him the killer's motive. She thinks he's killing to punish them and tells Kevin she is super stressed out. She hates to deal with psychopaths who have agendas. She needs serious spanking to take the burden out of her thoughts. Jenny doesn't want emotion to get in her way. But Kevin wants to take it easy and focuses on the case. Jenny takes out her gun and points it at him. She tells him she will shoot him between his eyes if he doesn't get up, take her to his house and spank her like a bad Catholic girl who cut class to smoke weed and watch porn. She says it to seduce him. Kevin takes her to his house and spanks her with his belt. They have erotic sex and work on the case. Victim number 8 is found tied up in S&M inside a courtroom. He is branded with the word justice. He is a judge. The killer has removed his eyes. The Roman number 8 is written on his forehead. The forensics collect evidence. Jenny and Kevin come to the crime scene and examine the body. There is a stitch on his abdomen. Later, at the morgue, the forensics find the major arcana card of justice in the victim's stomach. Meanwhile, Jenny finds out the judge was involved in bribery. He received $5 million from a Russian mob. He ruled the murder of a girl named Maria accidental despite the fact all the evidence are pointing at the suspect. She was stabbed with a knife by a young man named Vladimir, the son of one of the most powerful crime bosses, Boris. Jenny questions Maria's sister if anyone contacts her. She admits someone gave her $50,000. Jenny asks her to give her the description of the man to FBI sketch artist. Maria gives them the suspect's face. It is a man named Joseph. FBI arrests Joseph. He is a small-time drug dealer. Joseph tells Jenny it is Vladimir, who gave him the money. Vladimir asked Joseph to give the money to Maria. Vladimir is hiding. Jenny get a tip Vladimir's whereabouts. He is at his cousin's apartment, David. Jenny does not bother to call backup, just drives to David's apartment alone, shoots the door, kicks it open, enters and points her gun at Vladimir who is playing video game with David. She arrests him alone bravely and takes him to the FBI headquarters. At the interrogation room, Jenny asks him few questions about the murder. He says he was contacted by a man who wore a mask. He tells him to give the girl the money or he will kill his daughter. Jenny believes him. Jenny thinks the suspect has a lot of resources. He could be the Prince of Darkness himself, all she knows. She begins to lose control. She can hear the killer's voice inside of her head. He is driving her mad. Kevin is the only person can truly save her. Jenny thinks she is in love with him like those characters in romantic novels written by Nora Roberts and Judith McNaught spiced up with S&M and BDSM. At least, she wants him to tie her up and spank her. She enjoys making love to him. That is her medicine. Jenny says fuck it. She goes to a club, has few drinks and dances like there is no tomorrow to relieve the stress. Kevin come to take her home. She gives him ecstasy as they kiss French. He just wants to see her happy. They dance together seductively. They come to her house. He tied her up and whips her in erotic gratification. They then make love all night. Seductive Pain, Part 9. Victim number 9 is found in a library naked with lantern. It's an old man tied up in S&M. He is branded with the World Hermit. The Roman number 9 is written on his forehead. Jenny and Kevin come to crime scene and examine the body. Later, the forensics find the major arcana card of the hermit inside his stomach. Jenny finds out the old man is the famous Mac the Ripper who murdered 9 college students in the 70s. Jenny is right. The killer is indeed punishing them for sins they committed in the past. But he is not preaching like turn your other cheek. He is playing the Old Testament God. Yet, Jenny wants to put face on the tarot killer and take him out as soon as possible. The media is on her. She has become a star due to the case. Paparazzi are following her everywhere she goes like a movie star. She is on the covers of tabloids. She is beautiful. She even appears on the cover of Time, Esquire, Vogue, and Vanity Fair. But that does not stop her from conducting the investigation to the fullest. She wants to lure the killer toward her. Jenny asks Kevin how the killer chooses his victims. What drives him to do what he does? Is he doing God's will? Did his mother or father beat him when he was a kid? Where does he get the money? Nobody has the answer to those questions. Victim number 10 is a female. She is found tied up in S&M nude at amusement park. The killer placed Wheel of Fortune on her belly. She is branded with the word Wheel of Fortune. It looks like work of art. The Roman word 10 is written on her forehead. Jenny and Kevin come to the crime scene and examine the body. Her tongue is removed. Her vagina is sewed. Later, the forensics find her tongue in her vagina and the major arcana card of Wheel of Fortune in her belly. The news leaks to the media. A reporter named Anne writes an article on the case. She thinks Jenny is not qualified. She can't handle a high-profile case like this. They should put someone who know what he or she is doing. Jenny reads the articles and is not too happy about it. Kevin tells her to ignore her. Even though it seems Jenny is caught up in S&M, she actually has a house where she has all the photographs of the crime scenes and victims and various books on tarot. It looks like a police station. She has never shown it to Kevin. She also has S&M stuffs. Sometime old habits die hard. Anyhow, Jenny and Kevin look at a couple of the crime scenes photo. They can't find tangible patterns. They continue to study the case day and night while enjoying some of the best S&M sex to relieve headaches. Meanwhile, the killer murder 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 within the next 3 weeks. Victim 11 is a woman. She is found tied up in S&M nude at a motel. She is branded with the word strength. Jenny finds out the victim was adulterous. She was having an affair with a married man. Jenny questions her husband. She also asks the man whom the victim was having an affair with. Jenny questions his wife. It leads nowhere. Victim 12 is a man in his 20s. He is found hanged upside down on a tree in S&M outside his house naked. He is branded with the word hanged man. He was guilty of betrayal. His name is Roger. He gave away his friend Jeremiah, who slipped drugs and 62 young women drinks, had sex with the girls, video recorded the act and posted in deep web. Roger rats him out in order to save his soul, despite the fact he participated in some of the sex. Jeremiah is sentenced 25 years behind bars. Roger got a lesser punishment for cooperation. He got only 5 years, spent 2 years in a state prison and got released in probation. However, Jeremiah hanged himself in prison. He was mad by the betrayal. Jenny questions a couple of witnesses and finds out people call Roger a traitor. Jenny believes the killer might have killed Roger, thinking Jeremiah might need some kind of justice, or he could have killed him for participating on the act itself and escaping justice. Serving 2 years for a rape is like a high school detention with the cast of The Breakfast Club, Molly Ringwald, Ally Sheedy, Judd Nelson, Anthony Michael Hall and the rest of the Brat Pack. It was a slap on the wrist. That is beside the point. She knows the killer doesn't play by the rule. She reminds herself, for Christ's sake, he is a serial killer. He writes his own rules. Regardless, Jenny wants to catch the son of bitch, put a bullet hole between his eyes and send him hell. Ironically or coincidentally, victim 13 is a serial killer. He is found nude in graveyard tied up in S&M. He is branded with the word death. He is guilty of raping and killing 13 high school girls. Victim 14 is a young woman found in a strip club tied up in S&M nude. She is branded with the word temperance. She is guilty of prostitution. Victim 15 is a man. He is found in a library tied up nude in BDMS and branded with the word devil. Jenny and Kevin come to crime scene and examine the body. Later, the forensics find the major arcana card of the devil inside the victim's stomach. Jenny discovers the victim is a leader of a Christian cult. He was guilty of tricking 15 people, women, children, and men, to commit suicide. He told the judge Saint Gabriel said to him in vision, "It's the end of the world, the kingdom of God is nearer than the breath of life we are taking," and to save as much people as he could. The juries felt those people drank the poison voluntarily and found the defender not guilty. But the killer might have looked at it differently. He might have killed him to show the devil he is better than him. Later, Jenny comes to S&M Fashion headquarters to question the CEO of the magazine Eric, who published some of crime scene photos and models in S&M acting out the tarot murder scenes, and runs into a young man named Nicholas. He is her ex-boyfriend, 4 years senior. She met him at St. John High School. Jenny was 9th grade. He was 12th grade. She went to a prom with him. Nicholas took her virginity and moved to West Coast. Jenny hasn't talked to him for a while. He never called her for some reason. She's a little bit surprised to see him. Nicholas is taken by Jenny's appearance. There is nothing deceiving about it. She is a totally different person now. He can feel her mind-boggling sexual energy in his ribs, bone marrows, nerves, and spinal column, and lust at the core of his heart. She is possessed. Nicholas is speechless. Jenny asks what he's up to. He tells her he just bought S&M Fashion magazine. Nicholas owns it. He invites Jenny to S&M Fashion show. However, Jenny has to ask Eric few questions first. He is responsible for the photos. Jenny asks Eric how he got the photos. Some of them are taken before police even arrived at the crime scene. He tells her someone sent them inside envelopes without a return address. Jenny wants to see the envelopes. Eric gives her all the envelopes. She also collects all the photographs. FBI fingerprint experts look for fingerprints. But they find nothing, except the employees of S&M Fashion magazine. Later, Jenny comes to S&M Fashion show, sits with Nicholas and watches female and male models walking in the catwalk, wearing all kinds of S&M outfits, lingeries and nightgowns designed by various famous fashion designers around the world. After the show, Jenny and Nicholas come to a 5-star restaurant and have seafood. They do some catching up. They talk about tarot killer as well. In the meantime, Nicholas seduces Jenny to come to his new multimillion villa that he just bought. Nicholas has all kinds of S&M devices in a grand scale. They do cocaine to chase away few awkward moments. He removes her clothes, ties her on St. Andrew Cross and whips her erotically. Jenny lets him have him. He then puts a powerful sex drug in Jenny's drink and photographs her with 2 female models in $&M making love to her before he joins them in foursome. The drugs doesn't put her unconscious or affect her judgment. It only enhances her sexual craving. Jenny knows what's going on. She is enjoying it. However, the next day, Jenny has to sleep like a baby, and doesn't wake up till 12:30 p.m. in the afternoon. She hasn't slept like this since she was in college after partying all night, and drank a couple of alcoholic beverages till she passed out. Jenny missed those days. She knows she can't live in the past. In the meantime, Nicholas brings her breakfast to bed. Jenny just has few sips from her coffee, takes a quick shower, leaves the house without a word. She gets in her convertible and drives in the street of New York City. Jenny doesn't even want to look at her cell phone for a while. She has turned it off, so she can collect her thoughts and focus on herself first, and then get in a character. But Jenny can't help it. She looks at her cell phone. There is a message. Victim 16 is a man. He is found nude branded with the word towel hanged on a towel with wire. Jenny comes to the crime scene. Kevin has already told FBI not to move the victim till Jenny looks at the body. Jenny examines the body. Meanwhile, she finds out the victim is a burglar. He killed 3 couples and robbed caches, jewelries and electronic equipment unlawfully. Kevin suspects Nicholas might be the killer. He saw him taking photographs of the victim in the morning, before she arrived at the crime scene. Kevin suggests they should question him. Jenny thinks it's a bad idea. Kevin asks her why is it a bad idea. Jenny tells him she was with him last night. They were making love. However, Jenny is not sure either. Nicholas might have left in the middle of the night while she was sleeping like the Ark of the Covenant in flesh and blood. It's a figure of speech. She was drugged sexually. But she doesn't want to tell that to Kevin. Instead, Jenny comes to FBI headquarters and decides to check what Nicholas has been up to. She asks Max to hack into Nicola's computer and looks into his emails and bank account. Jenny also looks at his phone records and credit history, even though if Nicholas is the killer, he can't be that stupid to use his phone and credit to gather information. It won't hurt trying. But Nicholas is clean. Max finds nothing on him. Later that night, Jenny and Kevin work on the case at her investigation house, looking at all the crime scene photos. They talk about Nicholas. Kevin tells her FBI should wire his house. Jenny says reluctantly that's not a bad idea. So she could focus on the case. But something is bothering her. She just can't figure out what the killer wants. He is toying with her emotions. Jenny removes her clothes and kisses Kevin. They kiss more intimately and begin to make love in the middle of the crime scene photos. It is one of the sexiest love scenes in the history of cinema. Somehow, it is extremely erotic and spellbindingly romantic. There is no S&M. It's pure true love. On the soundtrack, Al Green's Let's Stay Together plays. Victim 17 is a woman. She is found nude branded with the word star at a lake house. Jenny and Kevin come to the crime scene and examine the body. Jenny finds out she is guilty of adultery. But Jenny suspects something doesn't add up here. She knows there is something wrong with this particular killing. It's not the work of the tarot killer. Jenny tells Kevin it's a copycat. They follow her husband Justin and sees him with a young 23-year-old girl named Diana. They bring him for questioning. Jenny tells him she knows he killed her. Don't even dare lie to me. Justin confesses for the murder. He killed his wife, so he could be with Diana. Justin found out she had been cheating on him with his best friend, which made it easier to stage the act. He studied the tarot murder case online and killed her. Justin asked Jenny to leave Diana out it. That's not her business. In the meantime, Jenny thinks Justin could have gotten away with it easily. But he made few mistake by visiting websites that covered the murder case. His name appears in FBI database. Even though it's a violation of privacy, Jenny feels she did what she had to do. Justin is arrested for the murder of his wife. Later, the real victim 17 is found nude at her house. The killer tied her up in BDSM and placed her body inside the devil star with candlelight. She is branded with the word star. The forensics collects evidence. Jenny and Kevin come to the crime scene and examine the body. There is a stitch on her abdomen. Later, the forensics find the major arcana card of star in her stomach. Jenny finds out the victim was guilty of killing a little girl in a hit-and-run accident. She read the victim's diary. Jenny doesn't care about that at this particular moment. Her heart goes out to the little girl and her family. But the killer can't use that as excuse to kill people. He is not God. Jenny just wants to catch the killer and end it as soon as possible. It's not right. Jenny thinks she must stop him at all costs. She continues to investigate the case. Jenny and Kevin question a couple of suspects here and there without a success. They have no luck of finding the killer. She is mad. To make things matter worse, Nicholas publishes the sex photographs of Jenny on S&M fashion magazine that he photographed earlier. It causes quite a stir. Jenny has words with Special Agent Jack. She tells him she has nothing to do with the photos. Jack tells her he does not care. It's her life. She can do whatever she pleases. If she must take action, to feel free. Jack knows she's one of the best. He tells her he wants her to continue to work on the case. Find the son of bitch and put a bullet in the back of his brain. It's a figure of speech. He just wants to tell her to execute the task. However, Jenny is upset. She confronts Nicholas. But Nicholas doesn't back down either. He shows her a couple of seductive S&M photo books and posters of Jenny. In flashback, Jenny remembers posing for Nicholas. Even though she was under drug influence, she was into it. In the sense, Jenny has to admit. She has never felt so sexy in these pictures. She has insane sexual verve that floods out of her skin. She looks like a nymph conceived out of pure lust and manifestation of radish desire, and to be preserved only for the gods, not to seduce them but to fulfill their deepest sexual fantasy. And amazingly, the photographs captured it. Literally, it would hurl defiance at pornography. She was kind of taken by them and decides to let it go. We cannot help but stand by her decision. Yet, Jenny is pissed off. She couldn't find the killer. He is toying with her emotion. She begins to break things at her investigation house. Kevin is there with her. He tries to calm her down. Jenny asks him to spank her to reveal the pain. On the soundtrack, Closer Miley Cyrus plays. It's a song by 9 Inch Nails. Kevin ties Jenny upside down nude while she is looking at the crime scene photos upside down. He splits her legs with ropes and spanks her vagina with cat o' nine tails till she reaches orgasm. It's one of the sexiest things we have ever seen in our lives period. They then make love all night. Victim 18 is found at a restaurant tied up in BDSM. She is branded with the word moon tied up in BDSM. FBI collect evidence. Jenny and Kevin come to crime scene and examine the body. There is a stitch on her abdomen. Later, the forensics find major arcana card of the moon in the victim's stomach. Jenny finds out the victim was guilty of killing her husband with poison, which she put in his meal. She got away with it clean. Nobody performed autopsy on him. Jenny questioned her sister Heather. They were best friends. Heather told Jenny a secret, which her sister was planning on taking to her grave. Victim 19 is a man. He's found at a nightclub that he owned tied up in S&M and branded with the word sun. The forensics find major card of the sun in the victim's stomach. Jenny checks the victim's background and finds out he used to be a pimp. 10 years ago, he beat a prostitute named Sunshine with his bare hand to death. Victim 19 is a young woman. She's found tied up in S&M inside a cathedral nude. The killer sewed wings on her back and branded her with the word angel on her chest. FBI forensics collect evidence. Jenny and Kevin come to the church and examine the body. There is a stitch on her abdomen. Later at the morgue, the forensics find the major arcana card of angel in her stomach. Meanwhile, Jenny discovers the victim killed her lover after she caught him with another woman. Her husband is accused for the killing falsely. But he escaped bail and went to Ukraine before he was convicted. United States has no extradition treaty with Ukraine. His parent emigrated from Kiev. The government of Ukraine gave him passport and citizenship and told USA fuck you. He's innocent. Victim 20 is a woman. She is found nude while tied up in BDSM at her house. She is branded with the word world. FBI collect evidence. Jenny and Kevin come to the crime scene and look at the body. There is a stitch on her stomach. Jenny finds out the victim is guilty of killing her husband and 2 children. She was found not guilty by reason of insanity. Jenny suspects Nicholas. She has seen him with the woman at the fashion show. The lady was a special guest at the event. Jenny comes to Nicholas's house to question him to ask him few questions. However, Nicholas gasses her and puts her unconscious. When Jenny wakes up later, she finds herself tied her up in BDSM as a prisoner. Nicholas tells her he didn't kill them but she knows who might have killed them. He adds Jenny has to use her imagination. In flashback, we see young Jenny and young Nicholas having sex. They reach orgasm. Jenny gets up nude and walks to the kitchen to get a drink. It's a big house. Jenny hears a woman screaming. She walks toward the sound. At one of the room, Jenny looks at Kevin lashing a young beautiful woman named Jessica with a whip. She is tied up in S&M nude. Kevin is Nicholas's older brother. He looks at Jenny and gives her a wink. Later, another day, young Jenny and young Nicholas make love. Jenny reach orgasm. Young Jenny gets up, leaves Nicholas's room in the middle of the night and comes to Kevin's room without a single drop of cloth. They have sex. Kevin then ties young Jenny in BDSM and whips her with cat o' nine tails. Young Nicholas watch them. He is upset, turns around and walk away. We returns from flashbacks. Nicholas tells her Jenny knows who the killer is. She just chooses to suppress it and doesn't want to face the truth. She even participates in the killing. Jenny has developed a split personality without her knowledge. Nicholas shows her the photos of the victims. Jenny sees herself participating in the killing with Kevin. It's like Angel Heart starring Robert De Niro, Lisa Bonet and Mickey Rourke. Angel played by Mickey Rourke has been murdering witnesses without his knowledge while investigating a missing person. She is Kevin's crime partner. She couldn't believe what she is seeing as if they put a microchips in her brain and plays a fake video. Then out of nowhere comes Kevin and points his gun at Nicholas. He is not surprised. Nicholas tells her they are here to kill him. He is the fool. Nicholas is guilty of killing a girl in S&M sex gone wrong. In the meantime, Jennifer falls unconscious. Later, she wakes up at her house, gets a call and come to Nicholas's house. He is found nude in the living room tied in BDMS. He is branded fool on his chest. FBI are collecting evidence. Jenny looks at Kevin as he walks into the room. She tells him she wants to have word with him. She confronts him if he kills those people. He takes her upstairs and make love to her. The end. Jennifer takes a deep breath with satisfaction. Jennifer, this is one of the best stories I have ever read. Chris, I wrote it in one sitting. There are few plot holes. I will build dialogue around it and fix the problem. You know, change the ending and a couple of things here and there. Jenny has nothing to do with the killing. I want Kevin to be a good guy as well. Kevin and Nicholas are not brother. They don't know each other. Instead, Nicholas has a brother named Jacob whom Jenny had history with. She involved with him in S&M behind Nicholas. Jacob appears in the end. Or maybe, Jacob joins the Navy and goes to Afghanistan. He then faked his own death and begins to kill people as part of a game. Perhaps he suffered from post-trauma stress. Or just to get a thrill out of it. He is an artist. But for some reason, I don't feel like bringing the military into the mix even though they invented the internet. I want the film to be appealing to female audiences. I will figure it out. In the meantime, let's go back to the ending. Jenny comes to question Nicholas. Instead she finds him dead. Yet the killer is in the house. It's Jacob. Jenny tells him to surrender or she will shoot him. Yet Jacob drops nerve gas and puts Jenny unconscious. When she walks up she finds herself tied up in BDSM. Jacob then whips her here and there. When he is about to kill her sadistically, Kevin comes to the house to question Nicholas. He rings the bell like Clarice Starling played by Jodie Foster in The Silence of the Lambs. Jacob tapes Jenny's mouth, covers Nicholas's dead body and opens the door. Kevin tells him he comes to ask Nicholas few questions regarding to the Tarot murder. Jacob tells him he is Nicholas's older brother. At the moment, Nicholas is not here. Meanwhile, Jenny frees herself just in time. When Jacob is about to shoot and kills Kevin, Jenny shoots and kills him first. Jenny and Kevin kiss French. The end. Jennifer, that's nice. But I like the first ending. I want Jenny to be a bad girl. It's weird you brought Angel Heart. I ran into Zoe Kravitz at Greenwich Hotel that Robert De Niro owns. That's where I love to hang out whenever I go to New York City. It's my home. Anyhow, I said hi to Zoe. We kissed on the cheeks and went to our separate way. I knew she was Lisa Bonet's daughter. I rented Angel Heart and watched it the same day. You know, whenever I spend there, at Greenwich Hotel, I watch at least one movie that Bobby did. I must have watched Taxi Driver over 20 times. But Angel Heart stuck on my mind. Keep the original ending. Besides, if you look at most serial killer movies, usually the bad guys kill people and the cops try to stop them. But this is different. Jenny is a serial killer herself and an FBI agent. She's in the middle of investigating crimes that she and her boyfriend are committing without her knowledge. It's like Bonnie and Clyde, except she is not aware of it. Jennifer gives Chris a sweet French kiss. Jennifer, just leave it the way it's. Except the part when Jenny tells Kevin she will shoot him between his eyes if he doesn't get up, take her to his house and spank her like a bad Catholic girl who cuts class to smoke weed and watch porn. That's sexiest line ever. However, instead, Jenny flips the table away, points her gun at Kevin's penis and tells him she will blow off his dick to kingdom comes if he doesn't get up, take her to her house and spank her like a bad Catholic girl, who cuts class to smoke weed and watch porn, and fuck her till her heart catches on fire. They exchange juicy French kiss. Chris, I will change it. But in the meantime, there are over 22 victims in the film. I thought about dividing it in 4 parts. 5 victims per shows, which allows us not only to focus on the investigation, but also the chemistry between the main characters. However, you just did the Hunger Games series, and in the middle of doing X-Men. I felt like you didn't want to be caught up on series again. It's also graphic. They won't show it in theater. You involve in a lot of erotic sex. Jennifer, HBO would kill for it. You know, I will convince them to release all 4 movies in 1 year. 3 months apart. I am going to do it for the sake of art. I like the part where you split my legs and spank my vagina with cat o' nine tails. Emma might do it first. But it'd be something if you split my legs, shave the hair off my vagina while I'm tied up in S&M with split legs, and then spank my vagina naked with cat o' nine tails. Chris, that's pornography. Jennifer, it's HBO. They kiss French. Emma returns to the living room with a shaving blade. They part their lips and look at her. Emma looks fresh. She must have come out of shower. She has put black makeup on her eyes and dark red lipstick. But that's nothing. She painted her hair with deep red pinkish and bright vanilla. It's like a crossbreed rose. And placed artificial water droplets throughout her hair as if she went to hair salon and spent hours. We don't how she did it. We have never seen anything like it. Jennifer, what did you do to your hair? Emma, it's a rose with dew. After they watch this, a lot of girls might follow her style. It's look pretty cool. It sparkles like a real rose with dew in the morning. Jennifer, how did you do the droplets? Emma, I glued them with a hair glue. Jennifer, it's not going to ruin your hair? Emma, it comes out when you wash it. Jennifer, you look beautiful. Emma, thanks. Let me do it. Jennifer, why can't he do it? We were just talking about tying me upside down, splitting my legs, shaving my pubic hair and spanking my vagina with cat-o'-nine tail for this character that he wrote for me. Divinity. About a girl named Jenny who hunts for a serial killer who kills people based tarot divinity. In the end, Jenny discovered she is doing the murder herself without her knowledge. Emma, that sounds erotic. Jennifer, referring to Chris, he is a freak of nature. Jennifer gets closer and kisses him on the lips with tongue. Jennifer, I want you to do it. She gives the camera to Emma and sits on the sofa. Emma, to Chris she's a major bitch, isn't she? Emma kisses Chris and gives him the shaving blade. Emma, I think she's in love with you. She gives him a sweet French kiss. Emma, pierce her clitoris and put ring on it if you like it. They kiss more intimately. On the soundtrack, Single Ladies, Put a Ring on It, by Beyoncé plays. It's also playing on the stereo. Chris places the shaving creams on his hands, applies it on Jennifer's public hair and begins to shave it. Emma records them while singing with Beyoncé. Cut to. Chris finishes shaving the hair from Jennifer's vagina. Cut to. Chris pierces Jennifer's clitoris. Emma continues to records them. On the soundtrack, Single Ladies, Put a Ring on It, continues to play. Jennifer lets out soft scream and squeeze a t-shirt that happened to be on the sofa. Cut to. Chris places the ring on Jennifer clitoris. It looks sexy. She gets up and shows it to Emma who continues to sing. Then on the soundtrack Goodbye, Goodbye by Tegan and Sara plays. Emma says oh my god, I love this song, and begins to sing with Tegan and Sara. Jennifer joins Emma singing Goodbye, Goodbye. They sound harmonious like Tegan and Sara. Jennifer, what do you think? Emma, it's seductive. Jennifer approaches her, takes the camera from her hand and kisses her French. They kiss more intimately. Jennifer parts her lips and comes to Chris recording. Jennifer, it's my turn. Jennifer kisses him. They kiss intimately. In the meantime, Emma grabs a cigarette from the coffee table, lights it up, sits on the sofa and begins to smoke, watching them kissing and making out. Jennifer and Chris go down on the floor. They kiss more sexually. Chris caresses Jennifer's neck, kisses her breasts, slowly goes down, and begins to give her oral pleasure as she continues to record it. Jennifer's face then lights up in sexual pleasure. She drops the camera. Emma takes ecstasy with scotch and begins to finger herself watching them while smoking cigarette with style. Chris then gets between Jennifer's legs and enters her. He then lifts her right leg, puts it on his shoulder and continues to enter her sensually. Jennifer is lost in sexual passion making all kinds of sounds with sexual pleasure. He continues to hit it deliciously. Emma continues to finger herself. Chris pulls Jennifer's hair and kisses her lips. They change position. She grabs the camera, gets on top of him and rides him, cowgirl style, while recording him. Jennifer then drops the camera on the floor as she reaches orgasm. Chris then gets Jennifer on the bottom, grabs the camera, gets between her legs and enters her with full speed while recording her. He is about to reach climax. He pulls her hair, kisses her lips passionately, comes inside her, drops the camera and lies on her chest out of breath. Chris rolls from Jennifer and lies flat on the floor, next to her. They are both breathing in and out heavily as if they just run a marathon. Emma touches herself more and gets herself wet as well. She takes a deep breath in orgasm, gets up from the sofa with the cigarette, walks up to them and lies next to Chris resting her head on his chest. Emma takes a cool long drag from the cigarette and breathes the smoke in Chris's mouth, shotgun. She kisses him French as he lets out the smoke through his nose. She then parts her lips and produces two ring out of nowhere like a magician. On the soundtrack, music plays. Emma tells Chris to pierce her nipples. Emma rests her head on Jennifer's belly and continues to smoke. It's a dreamish take. Seductive Pain, Part 10. Chris grabs the needle from the floor, sucks Emma's right nipples and pierces it slowly. He then places a ring on it. Cut to. Chris then sucks her left nipple and pierces it. He then places a ring on it. Cut to. Chris kisses both of her breasts. There is blood on his lips from the blood from Emma's nipples. Chris actually sucks the blood from her nipples erotically. He grabs her hair and kisses her lips seductively. She puts her arms around him. They kiss more intimately. Emma's head remains on Jennifer's belly as if she is using it for a pillow. Jennifer takes the cigarette from Emma's hand and begins to smoke. Chris and Emma continue to kiss seductively. Emma then gets Chris deep between her legs and holds him closer. Chris enters her. He then increases the speed. Emma's head remain on Jennifer's belly. Yet Jennifer's body is shaking from the sex. It seems she doesn't mind. She continues to smoke cigarette. Emma runs her hands all over Chris's body while scratching his skin with her nails as he continues to enter her, kissing her lips and caressing her neck. Emma then gets up from Jennifer's belly. She gets on top of Chris, who rests his head on Jennifer's belly. Emma rides him cowgirl. Jennifer massages Chris's hair as she continues to smoke. Somehow it's romantic. Emma continues to ride Chris. The rings on Emma's nipples look sexy. Chris squeezes her breast with his right hand and rubs her curvaceous buttock with his left hand and slaps it hard. We stay with them for a bit. We then take it with overhead shot and leaves the room.